For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate your attention. It's 30 minutes of time-wasting fun. That's as much as I can set it up. I don't want to get your hopes up here, but the holiday season is almost around the corner. Where are we? We're not quite 2 months away from Christmas. Anyway, but are you in the holiday mode? Are you one of those people you've already started your shopping? I haven't. Like I said, we're about 2 months away. I'm still about 2 months away from starting to get ready for the holidays, but there's so much discussion and debate politics even when it comes to workplace, holiday parties, gift exchanges, things like that. Are you for or are you against them? I'm going to tell you why we're discussing this on the show, on The Scribble, coming up right after the break.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secret to losing 3 to 5 pounds a week without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt RX. For the last 2 decades, we've helped countless people lose thousands of pounds. And now it's your turn. Learn how to lose weight with one simple phone call and no prescription needed. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a risk-free money-back guarantee. So, if you're ready to start losing weight, call right now and get a free month supply with your first order of Body Sculpt RX. Call now. You have nothing to lose but the pounds. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. That's 800-459-6838.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. So as a Canadian, somebody who's in Canada right now too, a lot of my time is spent between Winnipeg and West Hollywood. But as a Canadian in Canada, who, I just celebrated Thanksgiving with the rest of the country, this is now officially the kickoff to the Christmas season, in terms of shopping anyway. I'm not saying that I'm putting out my Christmas tree now, but this is our kickoff, right? Americans have, right after their Thanksgiving, Black Friday and all of those fist fights at Walmart for the TV that you don't want, but, you just want to grab it so nobody else can get it. And it leads to this awkward discussion about gifts. And, especially in the workplace, right? Do you buy your boss a present? Does the boss buy you something? How close of a relationship? Does that depend on if you buy the boss something? And I've always found it really weird because, well, I'm the boss here, right? I own this company. I own this studio I'm in. I own this building. I employ the people, that help produce this show and work on all of our other projects. So I see it as kind of like a professional relationship where it's just that. I don't give gifts to people that aren't family or because I don't know. Why would I? And so I've always sort of seen, as much as, and we are a very close group. Let me just say that for the most part, we've all been together for over 15 years. There's no turnover rate. There's no, exit interviews because people are leaving. We've had a solid group for a very long time. And so even as close as we are, I think maybe that's also why we just don't do gifts, because we're forever, each just randomly taking turns bringing in, treats or whatever it is. And we see each other all the time. So there's just no need for it. Do you know what I mean? And so in workplaces, though, I understand, because I've been in place a long time ago. I've been in workplaces where there's kind of this weird, like, do I give my boss chocolates for Christmas? Because then if the boss doesn't give you something, then it's weird. And then I've also, like I said, been the boss myself, going, uh-oh, if people buy me a gift, does that make me look like the, asshole who's too good to be buying something for me? So it's not a said thing, but we've just kind of over the years, like, I just don't buy me, like, whatever. We will do our, group thing, whether it's, dinner or night out. But again, like I said, we don't have to do things like that because we're always together. My producer, Bonnie Winters, she's not there. I just looked over to where she should be sitting while we're doing the show. But when we work together, she's been on the show. I don't know that we've had her on the show recently, but we met at a publishing company many years ago. And Raylene, who's our accountant, was our boss. She was the controller at the publishing company. And that's where we all met. And Jeannie Friend, one of our writers as well, I went to school with her, actually. And so I stole them away. We all left the company together, and I started my own company, a broadcast company and publishing and what have you. And Bonnie was saying, like, we are such different people. When I met Bonnie, I was in my I was about mid-20s, because I bought my house when I was 25. I met her but I started working at the publishing company about 2 years, so I was about 23, 24. And Bonnie at the time was in her 50s and had kids my age. And we were just she was from the country. I was this, like, city guy who was, and Jeannie was a very strong personality, a feminist, very, very much a feminist. And then we had some other editors, and we were all very different people, but you know what? It just worked. And that was something where before I started this company and was able to pick and choose who, was on my team, I remember saying that was a group that for some reason you couldn't have had, the term I guess would be better casting. You couldn't have had better casting with our group that we had, because there was also no competition between any of us. We were all editors. We each had our own projects. We didn't have to work together we didn't have to depend on each other. So it wasn't like, oh, well, Jeannie's letting us down, or, oh, Bonnie's holding us up, because we were all individuals. We all had our own clients that we were working with to get their publications, off to print. And we relied on each other in terms of, okay, well, this, or what about this? Oh, is it this way? Do we write it this way? Is it spelled this way? Is this capitalized? And we would do lunch. Bonnie's there now. She doesn't have a microphone in front of her. But we would do lunch almost every day. And we would then also communicate. We would have phone calls on the weekends. And again, texting wasn't really a thing, and social media wasn't a thing at the time. So I guess texting was kind of starting to be popular. But there was certainly no social media when we all met like 17, 18 years ago. And we genuinely liked each other, and that's what it was. Like, we also didn't mind staying late or taking home work on a Sunday or whatever. And so now, when it comes to this whole, I'm going back, and now I'm circling back to the gift giving thing as coworkers and colleagues and as a boss. That I don't want any of them to feel pressure to buy me something, because at the end of the day, this is the thing. I realize that it's the thought that counts, right? It's not about how much my employees, because I pay them. So really, they're just using my money that I'm giving them to buy me something. That's also kind of a weird scenario, right? But I don't need anything. They know, and I'm not bragging, but it's like they know that I have more money than I need, and if I want something, I'll go and get it. Yes, it's the nicety of like, oh, I can get chocolates because it's something that you like, and you'll have. I get that too. But I don't know, I just don't, maybe it's just because I don't want the awkwardness. They know that I'm not a gift giver, I'm not a shopper, so the fact that I just don't do that, it's nothing personal to my team, I just don't, it just doesn't happen. And I don't even as a boss, like when I first started out, I guess maybe it was sort of nice if somebody bought you something, but I just didn't. Because how does it not come across as being ass-kissy? That's how I kind of... I've worked in places, again, where it's like somebody would come in, with it was the last day before Christmas, and somebody comes in with the nicely wrapped gift for the boss, and just, oh, I'm going to give it... And I wanted to throw up. That was just so gross. I don't know. But just, if you want to, like, if you've got coworkers that you're friends with outside of work, or, and you want to just do a gift... Okay, I get that. But it was always just really strange. I mean, even a card. I don't do cards. I don't even do Christmas cards to my own family members. So I get it where, you know, a workplace, you might have your supervisor or manager come because, like, oh, we got to get, you know, and then you'll have the card on your desk or something when you come in the morning, or the person will come, you know, and you got to feign it, like, oh, that's really nice. Oh, thank you. Well, you know, the company gave them the cards, you know, or they went to the dollar store and just bought it, which, again, it's the thought that counts. I know. But I don't know. What do you think about, you know, getting a Christmas gift or a card for your boss? Or if you're the boss, you know, getting them for your staff. Yes, I realize that it's something nice to do. It shows that you care, shows that you're thoughtful. But again, like I said, we've got a tight enough group here that it's kind of just like, they know how I feel. They wouldn't work here if I didn't care, right? Like, I mean, that's at the end of the day, this isn't some big corporation where, you know, you've got a corporate office over in Dubai or something. It's like, if I don't like them, or if I'm not happy with them, they will know. They will. I'm a good actor, but I'm not acting for crap like that. I'm just not, you know. So that's how we talk about things like in our relationships too, where they're like, well, how do you know? Charles will know. My husband will know if I'm not happy. I'm not even going to hide stuff. I'm not. And that's what I appreciate about our group. I really do. So send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. Now we're going to talk staff Christmas parties. Okay. This is probably around the time where you're going to either get that, oh, are we doing a big thing? Because, you know, a lot of them happen at the beginning of December. So we're sort of, you know, I guess we're close to that, or even in November. Sometimes they'll happen. What do you think about the staff Christmas party? Is it awkward for you? Do you want to go? Are you forced into going? More on the Scribble right after this.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer. Save the money, save the hassles, and get the better blue pill. Dial 800-578-0179. That's 800-578-0179. 800-578-0179.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt, your shoulder hurts, and your back. Oh my God, your back. They're constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore, am I right? Well, here is something you haven't tried. Pain Absolve. Pain Absolve is not available in any drugstore. The only way to get it is by calling today. We're so confident that it will work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase, no prescription needed, and best of all, each purchase comes with a money-back guarantee. Call now to find out how you can get Pain Absolve and get rid of your pain. Call 800-319-0582. That's 800-319-0582. 800-319-0582. Call today. 800-319-0582.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
JB here, back on the Scribble as we're getting holiday ready. Ooh, some squealing in my earpiece. I'm going to take it out, you guys. Give me, something. I just got some weird feedback in my ear, so I'm not going to have that in. Give me some signals, you guys. Thank you. The staff Christmas party, is it always kind of a dreaded thing for you nowadays? I remember growing up as a kid, my parents my mom always called it the Christmas do. My dad's work every year would have a big do. And, my mom would get the nice dress, and it was something that they looked forward to, is what my point is. And my brothers and I were like, great, they're gone out of the house tonight, But it was something they looked forward to. It was the time where, maybe my dad would have some drinks, whatever, with his coworkers. And we certainly knew about it as kids. Like, this was just, you knew that this was like mom and dad's social night and for Christmas and whatever. And it was something they looked forward to. So fast forward now, all these years later, when I had done some contract writing and even some broadcast. I hosted a podcast for a trucking company several years ago, and I was invited. You come to the Christmas party. I happened to be there. I had never seen so many people not give a shit about being there. It was on. I guess what they would do, the company would do, is have it on Black Friday. It just seemed to be timed that way every year. Now, again, being in Canada, Black Friday wasn't really a big thing back in the day. So, but there was, maybe it was the timing of it that people were just kind of like, oh my God, I have to be around all you people, or all these people, like every day of the fucking week. And now you want me to be here on a Friday night as well. And it was bizarre to me, because really what that said was, this is a culture of, or a group of people that doesn't like each other. And so, like, why do you have the job if you don't like the people that are all around you? I mean, you're really just committing like 2 or 3 hours on a Friday. It's a free meal. It's, I never understood like why it was a problem. But again, I don't know the politics and the ins and outs behind the scenes, because I was just there. I was kind of on the sidelines, right? I wasn't, there every single day knowing the drama that was going on. But I just kind of thought, so why are you here? And I ended up asking, because the podcast was produced through their marketing, with the marketing team that they had. I was seated with them, and I had gone. My husband didn't come because I wasn't staff, so it wasn't like I'm going just to kind of show my support, be there. So I was sitting with some of the marketing people, and you could even just tell, like, the fact that they were looking at their watches or their phones, most of the time, just wanting to get the hell out of there. And so I ended up saying, like, well, why did you come? And one of them told me that their manager or supervisor, like the guy in charge of that department, had basically either sent them an email or was saying to all of them that you guys are coming to the party, right? You're coming to the Christmas party. Like, you gotta come. You gotta RSVP. And so I said, I'm sorry, were you being told that you have to come here tonight? Is that what the message was? You're basically being forced into coming to, and what the woman had said to me was, well, because we had kind of a big hand in putting this together and, pulling it off, and because they had different awards and things, and I guess the marketing department was part of putting that element of the night together, that it would have looked bad, where it's like, okay, you're going to be getting a big thank you from the executives for, putting on the party or contributing to the party, whatever, and none of you are going to be there. That really looks bad. And so I was like, okay, well, I get that, but none of you want to be here, and you are essentially told that it's looking bad for the department if you don't come. Well, therein lies the problem, Mr. Supervisor. That really goes to say something about the culture of the workplace then. Again, if it's only 2 hours or 3 hours of your time on a Friday night, I mean, that's not a huge time commitment. And I mean, I guess you could argue and say that it's the holiday season, you want time with your family, blah, blah. But again, it's really just 2 or 3 hours of your, it's not a big deal. And I've never experienced that. Like, I know I mentioned about the publishing company that we were all at before starting this group, that it was fun. We had the building that we were in, the president of the company had built a suite. He was having a house built, and while his house was being built, he had made a suite in the building that we were working in. And so it was kind of fun, because we ended up doing our Christmas party, same sort of a thing on a Friday night. We ended up doing the Christmas party just after work. Well, we didn't go home. We just stayed there. And he had ordered, a bunch of food, and there was a lot of booze, and just had put on music, and it was almost an extension of The Office, really, because Bonnie's office, my office, we shared a wall with him. So we were in our office at the back of the building, and then you would leave my office and kind of go around the corner and then behind, and there was a hallway that basically took you to his suite. So it was literally like just stepping out of my office, going down the hallway, and now I'm at the party. So it was basically like being at work, but it wasn't. And yeah, we had some good food. He had put on music. There was some dancing. We even had in the downstairs in the receiving area where we would, like trucks or whatever. There was a big trampoline there. We had a basketball net. So the boss's dog was there, and we'd go on the trampoline, and we'd shoot some hoops. The president's mom was there, and I ended up tangoing or something with her and just having a good time. And it goes back to what I was saying, was that we all genuinely liked each other. So it wasn't a problem. I didn't mind, I'm going to spend a Friday night with Bonnie and the rest of the group. Okay, cool. Right? Because we liked each other. But now I guess there's maybe just so much office politics, or everybody just feels that their life is so much, busier and more important. And they really, though, I mean, how many of them were actually going to be going home and at this company where I was doing the podcast that I went to, that, okay, so the 3 hours, how much of that's going to be on your phone, and how much of it is actually going to be spent with your family? Really, probably not very much. Much of it's probably going to be on your phone, but probably not most of the quality time with your family. But it just goes to show that people didn't care. And so I don't know if that's a symptom of, are we beyond the point of making our workplace more important? I don't want to go and say making it our lives, because for me, truthfully, back then, I mean, when I started out doing the radio, radio, newspaper, all that stuff was my life, but I loved it. So I don't say that it was, that I was just working all the time, because I didn't. It was a great time. I didn't mind doing it. So are people just very disconnected from their jobs? And it makes me wonder then too, if the whole pandemic and shutdowns and working from home, that really gave people insight into, hey, wait a second, I'm not valued at my job. Well, not insight. I would just say maybe that belief that, I'm underpaid, or I work too much, or no, I've got too much responsibility, and I'm underappreciated, and, all those kinds of things. I was always one of those employees who said, I'm being overpaid for what I do. As a writer, when I worked for other places, I am the first person to go and say, I'm being overpaid. I am being but I'm going to keep my mouth shut, because I would be making, a lot more than I needed to be. So I don't know that I've ever been one of those people who has said that I should be paid more. I'm demanding. No. So what do you think about that? Is that maybe where we're at now, that people are more, just sort of having that disconnect? They're separating themselves from the work, from their job. Is it a career? Because career used to mean your life to a certain extent. I mean, your career, but now are you considering it a job? Is there a difference between a job and a career? I think there is. I mean, in the literal definition, here I am now being a writer and journalism major. There is a difference, right? A career is sort of more lifelong and long-term, whereas a job is kind of what you're doing. Are there some overlaps? Yes, there are. I'm certainly not saying there aren't. But is that maybe where people have taken that step back now and went and said, I work from, 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, whatever time you work, and that's it. 5 o'clock rolls around, I'm done. My dad was one of those people. He worked for, 30 some years at a company. Towards the end, he hated every minute of it. This is, remember his company Do. That was when he liked his job 20 some years ago. Well, sorry, excuse me. That was about 30 some years ago, because I wasn't even a teenager at that time. I'm 41 now. And that was when I guess my dad liked his job. It was still relatively new to him. He had worked there he worked there for maybe 40 years, because he started there when he was a teenager. And he's now turning 70, I guess, in a couple of weeks. But that was a time where your job was a lot. And I think, it's just a different mindset, a different mentality, not even a philosophy. I would just say it's just a different mindset nowadays. So tell me, do you enjoy going to your staff Christmas party? Can we call it Christmas? I don't even know that we can do that anymore. Have we taken, is it the holiday party? The staff holiday party. Do you like going to that, or is it just a struggle? Because it's like I see these people every goddamn day, and now I've got to spend I don't know. To me, it was like a free dinner and drinks and dancing. They had a live band at that party when I went to it, so I was like, whatever. But again, I didn't work very closely with them every single day, so I don't know like why these people don't like each other. Like, where does that come from? Do you enjoy the Christmas party, the staff Christmas party, the Christmas do? Is it something you look forward to? Send me an email, live@jbonair.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
JB here, back on the Scribble. One of my colleagues here just made a good point. When it comes to the staff Christmas party, they had said, especially for that, the trucking company that I was doing this podcast for, it was almost like you were at a wedding. Like, it was very formal. I mean, we're talking, suits and almost like ball gowns, and it was very over the top. And somebody had said, like, you know what, I would prefer just being given like a cash bonus. Just give us the money. Don't spend. And I have to say, there was probably, it was several. If I had to guess how many people were there, oh God, I would say at least 300-400 people. So just factoring that in, whatever the cost would be per person, that's a company that has gone and spent several, tens of thousands of dollars. Now, again, you could look at that and go and say, well, the fact that the company spent that much money shows that, like they care or that whatever. But that's where these employees, who don't want to be there, who don't give two shits about spending their Friday night with it, just give us the cash. Whatever it's going to cost for this, catered buffet. Because like I said, when I was there, they had awards, there was a buffet, they had a live band, I don't know, there was drinks obviously, but I don't know that the drinks were, was it an open bar? I don't remember. I didn't pay for drinks, I know that, because I never do, right? I don't know that it was an open bar. So, but anyway, so the point is like, just give us the cash. So whatever it costs, per head to have a buffet, right? I don't know how much a plate would be, but no different than a wedding. If your wedding is costing you, $50 a person to eat or $100 a plate per person, then yeah, just give me that as a bonus. Give me that as whatever you were paying, like for the band or to rent this hall and to give out the little trophies that they were giving people. Just divide that cash up between the staff. Would that be something that would interest you? Would you rather just go and say, let's not do the staff Christmas party or even the staff lunch, right? Sometimes you'll have just a team lunch, right, with your direct coworkers or, colleagues and your boss or whatever it is. Is that awkward, or do you like the people I think it goes back to if you just genuinely like the people. For me, if it's a free lunch, I'll take it, right? I just said moments ago, I've never said that I've been underpaid, so I've never had that kind of a complaint at a job before. But yeah, if I don't really care for the people, just, give me the cash. And that's, I think, maybe what motivates people nowadays. I'm of the generation, though, where, like, video games and beer on tap and snacks all day, that doesn't, I'm not swayed by that. I don't care. I'm going to do the job. I'm a writer. I love writing. I'm a broadcaster. I love talking. That's what I'm here for. I don't need to kind of get that pep rally in the day. I don't need to have the Spirit Week and the prizes and the games. And I'm here to write. Like that's what I'm here to do. So send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter @The Scribble Show and @thescribbleshow.com.
JB here, back on the Scribble. I was about to say happy holidays. When do you start saying happy holidays to people? Is it too early still? I think it might be. Anyway, feel free, again, give me a shout anytime. It's always awesome hearing from you, live at jbonair.com. Jeremy Bradley on the Scribble. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter @thescribbleshow. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some